Hey, y'all, good morning. It's Anjali from the Dusty Hive, where the Hamiltons help you tell the story of your home. And I am so excited to have you join me today for Monday Motivation. We have a special guest that's going to be joining us soon. I just want you to cross your fingers and say a little prayer because this is the first time we've done this. And so we are believing for no technical difficulties as we do this. But today we are going to be talking about weaving wellness into your family story. And I have a special guest that's going to pop on in just a minute. But before you do, I just want to let you know that she can be found at Everyday Wellness here on Facebook, and I encourage you to go and like her page. And also, if you join us, I want you to just pop in, give us a wave, and if you have any questions along the way, just comment, and we'll try and answer them while we're here. So I'm gonna try and bring her in. Hey, Heather. Almost. Oh, wait. Let me see which side. Okay, it says to touch the person, and then I can bring. Oh yeah, bring Heather on camera. Adding right now. So this ought to be interesting. Getting all techie here. It worked! I'm so excited.
I'm so
I was like,
excited.
oh my goodness, it seems too easy. Will this really work? And so I'm kind of excited it did it on the first try. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
We're doing well over here. We had an eye doctor appointment this morning. All is well, and so we can go on with our day.
I am
So
so excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you too. I was like, I can't believe that how excited I am about this. But I was thinking this morning, I think I'm getting to live my dream a little bit doing these Facebook lives because before the Lord called me into teaching, my dream was to go to New York and steal Joan London's job. I don't know how many people out there, know who Joan London is, but anyway, that was my dream before the Lord said, "Oh, you're going to be a teacher," and I willingly said yes, and it's been great being a teacher. And so I said, "Oh, I'm getting to be Joan London in my own living room
I love it.
now."
And I love that
So
we can do this together, that your vision and my vision are, you know, intersecting.
yes, it's incredible, and I'm really enjoying this a lot. And I just want to thank you for encouraging me to dive off. You were the one that encouraged me to dive off and do this and to start doing the lives and so forth. So it's been a learning experience. I'm learning a lot about myself, and I'm learning to put a little more thought into what I do instead of just like, hey, let's do this today. So
Isn't that
thank you so
awesome?
much. It is. Well, I asked you to join me because I just really feel like wellness is such a big word out there. I even Googled last night because I heard a couple of weeks ago somebody said, well, wellness is the new, and I was like, what did they say? It was the new what? And so I
It's the
Googled it last night.
black.
Yeah, and that's what it said. But what came up with a whole list? I typed in wellness is the new, and then it said wellness is the new black, it's the new luxury, it's the new wealth, it's the new status symbol, it's the new health goal. That was like the whole list of like wellness
Wow.
is the new. So I'm so excited to have you here from Everyday Wellness. I'm going to turn it over to you and just let you introduce yourself to everybody.
Awesome. I'm so glad to be here with Anjali and the Dusty Hive. And I love their vision of their family helping others to tell the story of their home. So Anjali asked me to come on and just give some tips on how to weave wellness into our home. And I thought that I first should share a little story of how our friendship has been weaved together. And it goes all
Yes.
the way back to ninth grade. Do you remember that?
So long ago. So
Yes,
long
we
ago.
sat in front of each other, or I sat in front of Anjali in algebra class. And then later, after marriage and having our first children, we had a season of teaching together, which was
Yes.
awesome. And then Anjali and I's friendship has just continued over the years. And she has been a major encouragement in my recent service in Thailand. And I just appreciate her and her family so much.
Aw.
So, as Anjali said, my name is Heather, and I'm from Everyday Wellness, and I would love you to join me sometime. It's where I leave daily drops of encouragement and inspiration for you on your wellness journey because you're so worth it. So, today, as we talk about wellness, we have to realize that wellness is our own responsibility. It is the new black, but it is our own responsibility. And we have to be intentional about weaving it into our home and our family. And so I have three things that I really thought, especially for those of you who are at the beginning of this journey, really need to consider. Some of you have been on this journey for a while and probably could add comments of where you are and what it has been like for you. But I would say number one tip
Can I,
would
can I just interject something real quick?
sure,
If
sure.
you are joining us, even on replay, let us know where you are in your wellness journey.
Absolutely.
If you're just beginning, or if you got this thing licked and you could teach us a thing or two, we want to know, because we want to, just build community just around, common vision and common passion. So go
Absolutely.
ahead, tell us your top 3 tips. I'm so excited.
And we can learn from each other. So I would say
Yes,
number
that's
one
what I
would
love.
be assessing where you are as a family. I think you have to know where you're starting and kind of where you'd like to be. And you have to realize in that change doesn't happen overnight. It takes many, many micro adjustments along the way until it becomes natural or second nature or habit. And we all, if we could all sit together over a cup of coffee, we would say that we all want our story to be of wellness, of health, of strength. I think we
Absolutely.
all
Yeah.
would say we want the story of our home and family to be well. My second, and this is for me personally, what I thought was my biggest start, and that was looking at the things in my home. I didn't realize in the beginning because I've been on this journey for a long time. I would say about 22 years. I started coming out of a bout with breast cancer, and I had to really start thinking about where I was at that point and where I wanted to be. I had 2 small children, and I didn't want them to end up where I was at that point. So I started looking at my home, realizing I was the gatekeeper. You are the gatekeeper of your home. And I
Yeah.
started reading, researching, looking at the back of the labels of the products under my kitchen cabinet. And I started being shocked at what I saw. And I began to make a conscious effort of ditching some of those harsh chemicals and eliminating them from our home and trying to bring in things that would be healthier. Now, that has been, an evolving over time, little bit at a,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it takes time, and you have to be kind to yourself because you can't do it all in one go. And so that was a great start for me, starting to ditch, starting to look at those harsh chemicals. And when I talk about harsh chemicals, I'm talking about laundry detergent and dryer sheets and cleaning supplies, personal care products such as deodorant and shampoos, even cosmetics. What I didn't realize is how much these things were disrupting my hormones, creating allergies in my home and disrupting a lot of our wellness. And so I would say that would be a good start. Start looking at your own home and the environment and what you've brought into it, and start doing your own homework and start asking questions and start reading the back of those product labels and realize you can't even pronounce some of those words.
That is such a good point, because for me, when I started eliminating those things from my home, and like sometimes something will sneak back in, or you're somewhere and you use something that somebody said, oh, here, I have this, use this or whatever. I didn't realize until I started having those things clear just for me, from my body, so I can only imagine my entire family, that when those things would be reintroduced to me, I could taste them in my mouth. I mean, it was like I could get that chemically metal, metal-like taste in my mouth because our skin is so porous and we don't even think about that, just the things that we absorb through our skin and all the things that you mentioned, the detergent and the cleaners and all of that, everywhere we touch, we sit, we bathe, in that environment. But that was like a real eye opener for me when I was like, what is going on here? And I realized that, oh, I used that antibacterial wipe, or whatever, it was. And I could,
Absolutely.
my body detected that really.
Mm-hmm. And so it's just starting there. I had to just start
Yes,
simple. I had to assess. I had to look at my home. And I would say the third is that as we learn, we have to just then educate our family. We
yes,
don't change until we know, until we understand, and until we want to do better. And that's where our education for our family can come in. And I would say start simply. Start with looking at
absolutely.
hydration. Start with looking at the benefits of adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet, or the importance of movement in your day. I mean, we have changed in our society where we have less movement and more processed foods and less time
Hmm.
outside in the sun. But those are important factors to our wellness, and it takes time. So go easy on yourself. And like the analogy that Anjali used about weaving, I thought about a weaving loom, how it takes one thread added at a time to create that tapestry of beauty. And it takes one change
Yes,
for us at a time in our wellness journey to create beautiful health in our home and family. And so, my three highest, especially as you're beginning, assessment, looking at our home, and then learning, educating yourself, becoming your own gatekeeper, and realizing that there's some changes that need to be made. And it's up to us to do it for our families.
yes, absolutely. And I just really like what you said. Just, a lot of times we think we need to just jump right in and try and change everything all at once. But like you said, just kind of assessing where you are and where you want to be, to get your big picture and kind of, work backwards from there. That's kind of what helps me, a lot too. What would you say, to the family, or, that says it's too hard, it's just information, and really there is a lot of information overload on this topic, today. So to try
Absolutely.
and weed, through the info, it can be a little overwhelming. So what would you say to the family that says this is just really tough?
I would say start small. Remember what I said in the beginning? It's a hundreds and hundreds of micro adjustments. A micro adjustment is tiny. Look at one thing at a time. Look at it one change at a time. Don't look at, okay, where you want to be is where you want to be, but you have to look at that moment closest to you. You know what I mean? That micro
Right.
adjustment each day. And so I would say start with just incorporating more water into your day or getting outside in the sun, but looking at that micro adjustment rather than your end result. Because otherwise you're going to
Absolutely,
get
absolutely.
overwhelmed and then you just don't start or you just quit.
Another thing that I've run into, and you know people have asked me and all, and they're like, well, I'm all for it and I understand it and I really know where I'm going, but my spouse just isn't on board with me. He's sneaking this in the house to the kids, or, he just won't, we just can't get on the same page. So what would you say to the family where,
Yes,
the mom
I,
and dad are
I
kind of on
have
different
been there. I
paths?
have been there. And you know what? And that's where I have to extend grace because he's not there yet. And it doesn't
Hmm.
mean that he's going to get there faster if I start nagging about it, but that I continue on
Right.
my own personal journey and I keep bringing the good things into the house and offering that and encouraging and fixing food that I feel would benefit our family. Because the thing is, the minute you start nagging, the minute you start complaining about your family's health, they're not going to want to get on board. They're going to say,
That's right.
get away from me. She's crazy, you know? And so I have just had to extend grace to the other members of my family until they were ready to get on board. But I just continued in my own personal journey, inviting them in at every micro adjustment.
Yes, yes. Sorry about that. I have somebody that's wanting to get on an iPad that we're not doing right now. So,
No
anyway.
problem.
Well,
Hey, that's real
thank you
life.
for, yes. Thanks for sharing that, because, that is, regardless of, like you said, the micro changes, and all of that stuff, that the adjustments, that is, something that, I have encountered in talking to people. But, as you do, they begin to get on board, and they see, that really it is a good thing for, your family and the choices and all that you're making. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to share with us today before you go?
Let's see. Oh, this topic could go on and on for me, but
It could.
I don't want to take too much of anyone's time, but I want to leave with this. I am just so blessed that you're part of my life. I am so excited about what you're doing at the Dusty Hive, and I'm glad that our lives continue to intersect in different ways. And even doing this,
it's beautiful.
We're pushing out our fears. We're embracing our dreams of wanting to see people well, wanting to see people tell the story of their home. I just think it's fabulous. And so we'll leave with this assessment.
Yes.
Looking at your home, being the gatekeeper of your home, and then educating yourself and learning and making those micro adjustments. It is that simple to start. And it's you just got to start, and you got to start somewhere. And I would say start with water. I'm kind of a hydration Nazi, and I would say start there, because I think you would see the most movement in your wellness journey with water.
That's a good point. I was thinking about that, with it getting warming up, that, my girls, we drink water. They have a thermos with them all the time, but to encourage them to drink even more, like making it more fun by keeping a jug in the fridge with fruit, or whatever in it, that would be a good thing, to consider.
Even some essential oils to it to make it more flavorful would be fun too.
We do that too as well. It is, it's kind of like they're used to it now, because they have stainless steel thermoses as well, and they know where the stainless steel straws are as well too.
That's awesome.
So they know that if that's their flavoring, that's what they have to use. But I just want to think. I see Sarah Moscow jumped in and said she's another girl that's diving off into the deep with this live world. So we might have to get her one day join.
That's awesome.
So anyway,
I love that people are joining us. And like Anjali said in the beginning, I am over at Everyday Wellness. In the comments below, I will put my link, and that way, if anyone wants to visit me, you're most welcome. I leave daily drops of encouragement and inspiration for you on your wellness journey, because you're so worth it. Thank you, Anjali, for having me. It has been awesome.
Thank you so much. And we're going to have to do this again someday, whenever our topics of conversation kind of cross each other again. This has been fun.
Absolutely.
Okay, hey, you have a good day.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. Talk to you soon.
Yes. Bye, Heather.
Bye.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna close out. I know there is a way to take you off after we're done, but I don't remember how, and I don't want to press the X and then it not like you're not, we're both going. But anyhow, so I'm just gonna say, hey, you can just sit there and look beautiful. But I just want to thank y'all for joining the Dusty Hive today, and I do want to encourage you to go over to my friend Heather's page, Everyday Wellness. What she shares there is just a little short blip every day. How she was saying, making those micro changes, you can get something to ponder every day, just by catching what she's been sharing on her page. And thanks again, Heather, for joining us. And I want to thank y'all for joining our Monday Motivation. I hope this gave you something to think about this week. And if you have any questions, you can pop on over to Heather's page and let her know, or just drop them here in the comments, and one of us will come back and answer them. So we just thank you for joining us, and y'all have a beautiful day.